Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sunless Skies. I'm going to have to try and keep this episode relatively short because I have a man coming to fix the internet, well, to change the internet, which means I only have a very small window to actually upload this video because I didn't plan ahead. Yes, anyone who's been following me for a while now knows that that is what I do all the time. But we, in the last episode, became yoked, which means we can now have access to the Forge of Souls for our beloved clay conductor and try and make him a singing partner. But we're going to start off in the Court of Dust. Somber citadel of many towers broods behind high bronze walls. Can we just enter the gates? Or should we just look for the Forge of Souls? That seems like a much easier option, huh? You'll need to find it if you're to make a companion for the clay conductor. But the forge is not operational, which means we do have to turn it on. Yeah, perhaps there's somebody beyond the gate who can help. So let's enter the gates. The other spirits here are forbidden from entering, but perhaps it will be different for you, as we are yoked. As you approach the gates, the few spirits hovering in the courtyard begin to cluster behind you. A grate at eye level shrieks open. A skeletal face peers back at you. Eyeball to hollow, gem-studded socket. "You are permitted," the unworthy scribe says in a voice of molten lead. My voice wasn't very molten lead, was it? Mine was more of just posh boy, but close enough. Not the rest. The lamentation has made herself more than clear. The grate slams shut with a long, grinding moan. The left gate creaks open a fraction. It is enough to slip into the dark chamber beyond as the gate swings shut behind you. The Lyceum is a cavernous and crumbling vault. Its stone floors are covered in battered tomes and broken tablets. Creaking shelves far above you bow under the weight of disordered scrolls. A few thin rays of light filter in from holes in the towers high above. They illuminate vast stone stairs leading deeper into the Lyceum. The unworthy scribe sits at a small desk beside the gate, whispering to himself and paying no heed to you. Well, let's compile a report. The sanctum of the fabled Forge of Souls, the library of the westernmost king. There are wonders here, long forgot. The Lyceum is a trove of buried knowledge, the lore of kings and regents, the notes on the creation of servants of the stars. The scribes and clerks in the service of the Lamentation of Mists do what they can to organize and catalogue the vast archives. But the Lamentation's work comes first. The sky around is lit with cooling sparks from the forge itself, its smouldered chimneys protected by the storied towers of the Lyceum. Here, knowledge is created. We can hand in our port reports to the toll tower to earn rewards. Well, let's introduce ourselves. We are new here to the Lyceum. The Graven's eye sockets are studded with twinkling white sapphires. His fingers drum on his stone desk, propelled by nervous energy. He adopts the tone of a tour guide. "This," he tells you, "is the Lyceum. It has had many purposes over the eons, but has fallen into neglect. The great Lamentation of Mists aims to restore this once glorious citadel to its former statue. But it will take time and work and patience." He looks about at the voiceless spirits shuffling disconsolately through the stacks. The Lamentation has had to take what help she can find. Voiceless spirits doesn't seem like a good help, does it really? Okay, so we have a few options. We can inquire about the Forge of Souls. You have heard that the sun used it to fashion new life. Is it true? The unworthy scribe hisses like a kettle on the boil. The sapphires in his eye sockets dim. The forge is under the Amaranthine Edict, he rasps. For your benefit, that means that the Sapphired King has taken it under his protection to prevent against unwise use. Once, it was the province of all kings. The westernmost has learned the painful lesson of that mistake. The unworthy scribe drums his fingers against the stone desk. Be satisfied that you have been allowed within the Lyceum. Be content with its wonders. Do they not suffice? Okay, so maybe turning on this forge is going to be harder than I had anticipated. I mean, I guess we can petition for an audience with the Lamentation of the Mists. Lamentation has authority over the Lyceum and the Forge of Souls. Perhaps you have a need for her. The unworthy scribe shakes his head sadly. Lamentation prefers to choose her servants herself. It is beyond my remit to procure services for her. And besides, he glances around at the wealth of mouldering shelves and scattered clay tablets. She is excruciatingly busy. Hey, we can provide an endorsement from our litigator with one scrap of ancient knowledge. They will vouch for you and hopefully secure a less costly means of seeing the Lamentation. Ooh. Shame we don't have Ministry approved literature because that is considerably easier to obtain. I could go back to the toll and pick one up, but that's probably a distraction, so let's just provide an endorsement. The nameless spirit leans across the unworthy scribe's desk and whispers into where his ear would have been. Whatever was said must have been equivalent to 2 scraps of ancient knowledge as the scribe waves you through. The scribe leads you through the Lyceum and toward the Chamber of Restoration, where the Lamentation of Mists spends her days, sifting through the ashes. It's a picture of a scribe spinster. Am I not already yoked? A scribe spinster the size of a chapel rests in the centre of the Chamber of Restoration. Her wings are pale as lambskin and thick as a Bible. She holds her wings to her and keens in soft utterances of fragmentary speech. I need to cough. Excuse me. She is bound by a long length of chain to a massive book, illuminated in black and gold and shackled to the floor. As you enter, her blind face turns to you. We can beseech the Lamentation for a testament of salt. The Lamentation can bestow this, recognition that a spirit is liberated from the shackles of the mortal life. Or we can beseech the Lamentation to yoke you to the Lyceum. Already yoked? I'm guessing, currently I am yoked to the well. If I do this, I'll be yoked to the Forge of Souls. So, this is the contract between... Because I'd have to be yoked to get in here. I guess I could be ephemera. Okay, well, first of all, let's start with what we're actually here for, which is requesting access to the Forge of Souls. You have heard that the fabled forge can be found somewhere in the Lyceum. Not for you. The Lamentation's voice is like shredding silk. Edict forbids its usage. I wish. Her voice quavers like a fly held in a web. Would cast me out. Burnt. Broken. She trails off, turning her attention back to the broken tablets scattered across the Lyceum. The unworthy scribe leans in, the heat of his flesh against your shoulder, the chill of his skull near your neck. He explains that the forge is forbidden from making new things. Its location would do no good, surely. Yes, but I want to be there. I want to go. Let me in. No, okay. Oh, we can ask for a Testament of Soul. Could be useful. Uh-oh. The trials for the Testament of Salt take place in the Sepulchre archives below the reading room. Lazulite pillars, thick as the ribs of a colossus, hold up the many vaulted roof. Great windows, bereft of glass, allow sunlight to flood in, bright as death. All but the nearest pillars are obscured in splendid, immortal radiance. I actually have a trial, do I? I have to put 3 of my crew here to get a potential Testament of Salt. Now is not the time. But I will remember that I can get one here. Let me just write that down. Because I know what I'm like, I'll forget. Just in case we need one. Because I think we need a Testament of Salt to get the industrialist's daughter back. But do I want to sacrifice or potentially 3 of my men? And if I came here with 22, the answer would have been yes. Forge of Souls. Right, like work out how to write this. Ram of Mists. Yeah. Well, we haven't managed to find a way of actually getting in. All I can think of is if we become yoked to the Lyceum, we can have freer access to walk around the place. The Lamentation leans close, balancing on its spindly limb unsteadily. Her blind face looms near to yours, like a moon about to cause a lot of tidal disruption. She searches for an appropriate analogy, and at last she settles upon a termite mound. She suggests that the library is like such a thing. It has its needs and its workers to see to those needs. There are threats to the harmony of the mold. Mound. Parasites and predators. There are rules to obey and hierarchies to observe. Are you, the Lamentation, wonders, a suitable termite? She flies back to perch upon a pile of huge black tablets. She is waiting an answer. Yes? Okay. Well, that hasn't worked out quite how I anticipated. Ah, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Bribe the unworthy scribe to take you to the Forge of Souls? 500 sovereigns? Or we can mount an expedition to the Forge of Souls. Woof, we need 3 supplies. Yeah, okay, let's bribe him. 500 sovereigns. That's quite expensive, but we can afford it. You'll require assistance from your litigator. They'll know how to do this without risk of causing a scene. The spirit floats towards the unworthy scribe, who looks as alarmed as it is possible for a jewel-encrusted skeleton to look alarmed. A tablet is produced. The jewels studded on the scribe's bones are contemplated, their value calculated. A debt could be paid with these. The spirit considers. The scribe is happy to show you to the forge and to accept your sovereigns. The unworthy scribe drums his fingers frantically against his desk. One supposes there is only so much harm you could cause. The forge remains unkindled. This way, if you please. The unworthy scribe leads you through the Lyceum. Down and deeper into its vaults, you pass unlit furnaces and empty vats, the hollowed-out shells of colossal towers, all shrouded with a thick carpet of gem-inflected dust. The scribe tells you that once all of the Lyceum was the forge, or rather, the Lyceum was a small part of the forge. But this, he tells you, leading you up a dizzying stone stair, was its heart. The forge comprises the colossus of stone towers at the heart of the Lyceum, huddled together as though frightened. A single gate permits entry into the innermost sanctum. The ground is carpeted in knee-high drifts of scintillant, chromatic dust. At the base of the forge there is a lone figure, the first venturer, guardian of the Forge of Souls, now sifting through the dust and ash. Yep, we still need to repair the forge. Speak to the man at the forge's base. He guards the forge in his own way. A man who spends his time tending the forge. He is covered in scars from old frostbite acquired from travelling the skies. When he is not working, he can be found in the courtyard between the forge and the Lyceum, sifting through the sands of dust and gemstone accrued at the forge's base. Ask his advice on the forge. It is dormant. Might it be otherwise? The venturer chews his lip thoughtfully. Owing to a technicality of procedure, I am custodian of the forge, but I am forbidden from repairing it. He picks up a handful of glass. It pours through his fingers like sand through an hourglass. The Lamentation of Mists is supposed to keep an eye on me. I'm forbidden to fix the forge. You are not. If you could convince her to look the other way, there is a sparkle in the eyes. Well. Okay. What about himself? What is he doing here? The man smiles, creasing his aged face. He introduces himself and seems genuinely curious about your own reasons for being here. He tells you that he journeyed here long ago, before Her Majesty opened the door to the heavens. He and a bold sea captain slipped through it and had the skies to themselves. Now he looks after the forge. He has, he mentions, made a promise to a long-gone friend. Can share stories? What does this give us? He fetches wine. Greyfield's famous mushroom wine from the Neath. Not many bottles left, he confesses. I must be careful, I promised to save the last. He fills your cup and his and asks about your adventures and the long road that brought you to the Blue Kingdom. At last you angle the conversation towards himself. Ah, he says. I was the first through the horizon. Not the Parsifal, I was. We opened the gate and sailed through. I wasn't alone, as I am now, he smiles. My apologies, as I have been until now. His conversation turns sombre as he speaks of his old companion, whose duties have since been taken on by the Clerk of Sevens, who opted to take their place. The venturer too serves out his sentence here. One day, he hopes, he will sail the skies again. Okay, so we have to talk to the lady again, I guess. The Lamentation of Mists. It's gonna cost me again. Damn it. I'd be even more upset if this doesn't actually... Here we go. Request permission to repair the Forge of Souls. The Lamentation would not, technically speaking, be responsible for its restoration. Abruptly, she dismisses the unworthy scribe. As the great bronze wood doors swing close, the Lamentation crawls closer to you, softly kneeling as she leans over you. Keening as she leans over you. I was like, kneeling? That makes no sense. You must use the forge to make new scribe spinsters for her. Her tone is insistent, desperate. They were made here once, before their library was destroyed. Then you may do as you wish. The Amaranthine Edict over the forge would not be broken, so long as nothing new is made of the forge. The westernmost king would not concern himself with that. She has been alone for so long, and her work at the Lyceum would only benefit. She drifts away from you, still whispering. Poor thing. Okay. Now do I go down to the Forge of Soul? repair it. Within the forge are many chambers, housing ovens and kilns, furnaces and forges. They are blackened with soot and glass and all stand empty. Once, every chamber of the forge was ruled by its own spirit, who allowed the chamber to perform its functions. Now, they are gone. Mad, or lost, or slumbering. To relight the forge, those spirits will need to be drawn back here. Okay, so we need either souls, bronzewood, or end experiment. I have a lot of souls. I believe, in the bank. The real question is, do we need to do all of them? Or do we need to do some of them multiple times? So, let me write this down. To repair? Or... That's just it. Do I need multiple trips of the same thing? Is it just one bronzewood? Oh, yeah it is. If that's the case, I'll just bring 5 jumbles of undistinguished souls. What am I finding out? If I provide 1 condemned experiment just to see how it works, since I can anyway, so I'm... The third venturer smiles at your offering. They appreciate ingenuity. The venturer hands you a torch and instructs you in the melting down of your condemned experiment. The remnant you gather up in a clay bowl, and with mortar and pestle grind it to a fine powder. This you sprinkle over one of the empty kilns. Good, good, the venturer tells you. This'll inspire them. Make them remember their purpose. Okay, so we do need to provide souls and get bronzewood, which I guess I can go back to the toll tower to do this. But I'm afraid I think I am going to have to end the episode here, and I am rapidly running out of time. I know it's only about 20 minutes, but in the next episode we will go and find our souls, and we will repair the forge souls. I don't think I managed to do last time I was here. Or if I did, I don't remember. I'm sure somebody watching remembers. I have no idea. So long now. But either way, our episode was basically just me reading through the entirety of the Forge of Souls, and I apologize if you don't like listening to me just read. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Your comments are greatly appreciated. And as always, I'll see you next time.